Often when we start a business or launch a venture, we just don't know if we're going to be able to source enough products or materials, or how we're going to match the services being requested. And sometimes we just have to rein it back a little bit and know that there's plenty, there's abundance. Unfortunately, I'm really learning that as we list these podcasts out. I thought I would do one every Sunday and just get a little information out. Again, not for fear, but really for education. What you know can help protect you. However, every time I pick up my phone, there's another article there that I've got to look into, and I want to be able to share it with you. So here we go. This is digital insecurity. And right now we're going to talk about malicious email. So here we go. This article came up yesterday. Sean Endicott is the author. This is on MSN News, and this is titled Fake Microsoft Update Used in Malicious Email Attack Campaign. Now, Microsoft has been very, very aggressive with their updates since last year. In fact, it was right about this time last year that I had to contact Microsoft Help Desk because once again, my computer had been brought down without me saying okay. And when it came up, lo and behold, Microsoft Teams was right in the middle of the screen. I don't use Microsoft Teams. Every time it pops up, I do all I can to uninstall it. It is a virus, just like the way that Yahoo spread on the early days. You might wonder, how did I have a Yahoo search engine? Because it spread like a virus through computers. That's how the marketing was set up. This is what's going on with Microsoft. They're controlling their own PCs and making sure that Teams is the chosen venue rather than the other options that people chose over the last year. So they lock it down, you can't do any work, and if you don't shut it down, they shut it down for you and bring it back up in a lockdown status until you acknowledge their Teams. Now this has gone on, I don't know, maybe at least 9 times over the last year, but when this first started, as I mentioned, I contacted Microsoft and the help desk was ready to throw anything against the wall because they were getting thousands of calls about this, and yet it was a ridiculous use of their time. It was unnecessary, and it was very frustrating as they knew that it was being done for manipulation. So here we go once again. This is fake Microsoft update used in malicious email attack campaign. So this is a little different than what I'm talking about, but it's under the same lines of somebody from the outside of your environment restricting what you're able to do. So in this case, a new email campaign is piggybacking off a major ransomware attack. What do you need to know? A malicious email campaign is targeting victims of these ransomware attack that I covered yesterday. The email claims to have a Windows update that fixes the address and fixes addresses that this attack. Instead of a fix, its an attachment includes Cobalt Strike software that can be used to break into people's systems and networks. A malicious email campaign has been detailed by Malwarebytes threat intelligence team. It tries to trick people who have fallen victim to one ransomware attack into handing over more control of their PC. This is according to an investigation by TechRadar. The new campaign pretends to have a fix for this attack in the form of a Windows update, when in reality, all it has is an email attachment that breaks into people's computers. Look, when you're down and out, they're going to knock you. And here it says, please install the update from Microsoft to protect against ransomware as soon as possible. This is fixing a vulnerability, the email reads. So if you get that, it's not the update. It contains an attachment named Security Updates in an executable file, as well as a link pretending to be a security update from Microsoft to patch the vulnerability. Be aware, left and right, they're coming at us. If someone opens the attachment, includes the penetration testing software. Again, a pen test is they're going to test how easy it is to penetrate into or get access into your system. That's software Cobalt Strike. The software can then be used to break into networks or machines. The attachment is named securityupdates.exe. As is the case with most security threats, it's important to look at the source of emails and consider what they're asking you to do. Microsoft does not send email attachments with Windows updates. So any email asking you to download such an attachment could put you at risk. Again, they don't send emails with the attachments. For more information, you can find that there. And I was just thinking, remember in the good old days, rather than dealing with the email, you would run to the mailbox and get a great letter from a friend. And it was so exciting because we didn't get them every day. And it really, somebody took some time to do that. And, unless you got I was trying to even think of what the name of it is. Remember the ones that says that if you don't do this and send this to 10 friends and this bad thing's going to happen to you? Remember those would circulate in the mail? Well, fine, you put it in the trash and you move on. But even that world has shifted. This was from the New York Post. U.S. Postal Service admits to spying on American social media posts. This report was in 2021. We've known about it for quite a while. This is by Natalie O'Neill. The U.S. Postal Service admitted Wednesday to spying on Americans, their own citizens' social media posts, including ones made by protesters. USPS Chief Postal Inspector confirmed to lawmakers that the agency is running a shadowy operation dubbed the Internet Covert Operations Program, which tracks posts on why is the post office doing that? Now I'm going to point out one more time that when, don't even know if I can say this name, Bannon, first name Steev, when that individual was apprehended last summer, he was apprehended not by a 3-letter agency and not by a police force, but rather by an arm of the U.S. Postal Service. This is getting down and dirty. And for any of you that thinks that this overwatch of what you've got on social media is something new, let's just take a look here before I move this. Remember informed delivery? The United States Postal Service, which again is a pseudo-federal agency, digitally preview your mail and manage your packages scheduled to arrive soon. So they let you know what's coming. Well, they're only letting you know what's coming because they can get revenue from it. They got caught. And rather than stopping the process, they converted it into a service, charge you for it, and there you go. But remember when this first came out? Look at this article. Oh, this one was 21. I'm sorry, the one I had pulled up was 2013. And again, I won't search for it right now, but this is the Guardian. Outcry over U.S. Postal reportedly. Let me pull up that other one. I wonder what happened to the informed delivery. Normally, I don't like to pull these up while we're going, but let's just see if this will come up fast enough. Social media. That's interesting. I pulled it up several times and it kept closing. What else can I look at here? Let's use the word scanning and see if that might work. So it's really important to know that it's been coming at us from many. Here we go. Here's one. Let's see if we can grab that at all. So this is New York Times. Their files are not fully opening here. So let me go to this one right now. And you can see they're all the same year. So New York Times reported it, but I'm going to go ahead and pull it off this one. Welcome to the Consumer's Archives. Forget the NSA's high-tech snooping. The USPS has been scanning our mail for years. So this article, those were all from almost 10 years ago. Many people are upset and with good reason, with the National Security Administration's concerted and secretive efforts to obtain wireless and internet data about a wide range of users. But what many people don't know is that the US Postal Service has been scanning the outside of every piece of mail it processes and making that information available to law enforcement without a warrant. The New York Times has a good piece on the mail isolation control and tracking program, which was put into place following post 9/11 anthrax mailings. It quite literally scans every envelope, postcard, and piece of junk mail. And I'll let you know that this happened long before we lost our rights on 9/11. That was just another day they got caught and had to admit it. Some 160 billion pieces of mail a year. These scanners probably know more about the mail you receive than you do. The mail isolation program is really just a super beefed up version of the USPS mail covers program that has been around for a century, explains the Time. Mail covers are warrantless requests for photos of the outside of specific recipients' mail over 100 years. Basically, a law enforcement agency fills out the request, and for 30 days, extendable to 120 days, it receives scans of all mail related to the subject of the request. Only the outside of the mail is provided, as opening mail would require a warrant, of course. Authorities maintain that no warrant is needed for information. But you know what? How much mail disappears in the process? They scan it, they like it, they want it. They don't have to get caught opening. It's just, the mail service doesn't deliver half your mail anyways. What if they just take it? The USPS can deny mail covers requests, but it rarely does. The Postal Service sources tell the Times it gets around 15,000 to 20,000 mail covers requests a year. This was in 2013. Related to suspected criminal activity. There are also requests related to national security concerns, but no numerical data is available on those, of course. That just doesn't exist. That sounds like an awful lot like the not very transparent transparency reports issued by companies like the FANG companies in the wake of NSA revelations. Those companies release statistical data on requests for customer information related to law enforcement, but were not permitted from revealing information about classified requests from federal agencies. A former three-letter agent explains to the Times the benefits and potential concerns about mail scanning programs. It's a treasure trove of information, he explains, that you can glean a lot of details from just shifting through somebody's personal mailbox. So again, if this was happening on this level, this was admitted, 10 years ago, and they've been saying it's been going on for 100 years. How much easier is it that we just deliver it to them electronically and they can sort through it? So here's another one that came up this a couple weeks ago. So of course, maybe it won't come up right now. So here we go. A day ago, BuzzFeed reported, this is Jason Leopold and David Mack. Here's the extremely broad FOIA request of Tucker Carlson's producer filed with NSA. He went broad to see if there would be any admittance. And they didn't deny reading the emails. Of course they didn't deny it, because they do it. They read your mail, they read your emails. And again, I want to go back to the notion that this has nothing to do with fear or paranoia, or just know that it happens. We as citizens are to be protected and have human rights in this country. And although conversations may have come up over the last year, as you can see here, for over a century, those have been gone. So where do we go from here? These are the type of topics we're going to continue to explore here on Digitally Insecure. The first step is awareness. I want to point out as well that Digital Insecurity also has a Dig In Security Twitter feed. If you want to go ahead and throw that app on your phone, you can see when we update. We're now posting, although the idea again was once on each Sunday, it looks like daily there's great information to share. So once again, Digital Insecurity was looking at malicious email. This is email that was sent to you trying to help you, and yet it piggybacked on an existing ransomware attack. We can say that we didn't get this kind of problem from the Postal Service. And yet the overlying surveillance and breach into our privacy is coming from many directions, those who are meant to protect us, as well as those who are meant to dig in our pocket. Let's just wake up and start taking a stand. How much is enough? This is Digital Insecurity on the topic today of malicious email.